Well, let's start another winning streak tonight. Why not? The Commodores, in search of their second straight win, take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks tonight at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field, still looking for their first win against Hyannis. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Opening the Door, along with our web reporter, Tommy Mumau. I'm Trey Redfield. So happy you're with us tonight for the Doors and Hawks. And Tommy, it's good to have you back on Opening the Door. Always great to see you again, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. The doors are rolling, so I'm excited to be back on.
Tommy said it best. The Commodores have won 4 of their last 5 games. One of those wins, Tommy, came last night at Eldridge Park against the Orleans Firebirds, a dominant 6-2 win at Orleans.
It sure did. I mean, it's nice to see the offense come around, right? Some big hits from Colby Halter, which I feel like we've been saying every night, right? And, Andrew Pinckney with a big home run. He's really been heating up. And Alex Mooney went 3 for 4, too. So really encouraging signs there, Trey.
Those are all bats that you're talking about right there, Tommy. How important is it for the offense to get going, knowing we're starting to see the final stretch coming up soon?
I think it's really important because that's been the missing piece, right? The pitching's been there pretty much the whole way, so they've been waiting on the bats, and they've finally been heating up, and it's been good to see.
It's been great to see, but we have to see them tonight against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Like I said, Tommy, Falmouth has yet to beat Hyannis this season. Why is that?
You know, Hyannis is a good team. Definitely, they've improved from last year, and they're just an all-around good team, good pitching, good hitting. So, walk-off at Hyannis, and then lost 5-1 their first time here. So, and that was a close game until pretty late. So, the Commodores have been in both of those games, and with the offense heating up, it should be a good one tonight.
And there have been a lot of new faces coming in. We've seen 3 new ones, a couple from Texas A&M, another from Southern New Hampshire. But there's also another one from Oklahoma tonight, Tommy, and he's expected to be in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, a big boost that the guys you mentioned that have come already have given this team. You think about Jason, Peyton Stovall coming from Arkansas, and coming from Oklahoma, I think that'll be huge to have somebody like that was just in the College World Series. So
it's so big. Jackson Nicholas coming from Oklahoma, a team that you said was in the College World Series, got swept by Ole Miss. Nicholas this year, an infielder with the Sooners, had 11 home runs and over 30 RBIs, so really important to get the infield depth up as well. But let's talk about what's going on tonight, Tommy. It's Military Appreciation Night. I got my red shirt on because it's another Wear Red Friday here at Gov Fuller Field. It should be an exciting one. It's going to be an honor to see men and women being honored for their service around the country.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a great tradition that the Cape League has for sure. I mean, you see the red shirts and the red jerseys will be on display tonight for the Commodores. So I think it's a great night, and to honor them is just great, I think.
It's the second of 3 Red Fridays that are going on this season for the Falmouth Commodores. And speaking of those Falmouth Commodores, Tommy, I'm going to say it, and it's a really good stat. I'm going to keep saying it until it becomes a jinx. The Commodores are 3-0 when Tommy Mumau comes on Opening the Door. The question is, will they become 4-0? Tommy, my question to you, do the Commodores get it done tonight?
I think so. I got to keep the trend going, right, Trey? They've looked good in those games when I picked, so I think they're going to keep it going tonight.
My last one for you, Chase Jeter on the mound. His second straight Friday start. How important is it for him to get going early?
I think it's really important. He set the tone last week, and it was a 0-0 tie, but he really kept him in the game. And, an all-star last year, he's just really consistent. So it's big for him to keep it going tonight.
It's Chase Jeter versus Magdiel Coto on the mound. That's Tommy Mumau. I'm Trey Redfield. I'll be on the field tonight while Carter Bainbridge and Logan Safarenko have you covered in the booth. This has been another edition of Opening the Door, and it's the Doors and the Hawks coming up soon. Syracuse looking to improve to 4-0 on the young season, leading Long Island by a score of 36-27 at the half. Welcome back to the ACC Network Halftime Report, along with Ian Unsworth. I'm Trey Redfield. Ian, Syracuse is limiting the turnovers, but it's Long Island that's limiting the fouls on its end. But it's the Orange as well that's getting into some foul trouble.
It's been a sloppy game on both sides. We got 22 combined turnovers and 16 total fouls as we head into the second half of play, and it's been scrappy on both sides. You see Asia Strong getting into the side of a Long Island player, and then they battle for it out of bounds. I mean, both teams want to play fast, up-tempo, because both of them are dropping back into zone, so pushing the pace is leading to some of these mistakes.
We've seen a lot of bigs get into some foul trouble. Asia Strong and Kyra Wood filling in for Dariana Lewis. They're doing whatever they can with
Wood making some steals here and there, but either way, it's tough not having Lewis, who is second in the nation in rebounds per contest, down low for the Cuse.
And she can clean up a lot of mistakes. They compared her to Dennis Rodman because she finds all those loose balls, gets her hands on them quickly, averaging a double-double coming into today. You need Strong to stay on the floor, stay out of foul trouble, because she's Syracuse's second leading scorer.
Strong comes from Wichita State. That's where Felicia Leggett Jack found her in the transfer portal this offseason. But for Long Island, it's Amaya O'Brien who's been dominant tonight. 9 points for the Sharks. That leads LIU.
Well, she was the unanimous Rookie of the Year last year in the NEC, and she's come to play today in the Dome. Only 3 of 9 for the field, but she's made some big buckets. She's not afraid to drive into the middle of that SU zone, which is sagging back, and create for others. Check this out, Trey. A floater from behind the free throw line. That's some beautiful touch.
It's O'Brien that is the NEC Rookie of the Year, unanimous pick in the Northeast Conference to be the newest newcomer, now a 5'1" sophomore that's finding ways to get it done into her second year with LIU. Taking an even bigger look at O'Brien, 3 of 9 from the field, also getting it done a little bit from three-point range. Could you see her getting more shots beyond the arc in this second half?
She's 7 of 25 on the season from behind the arc, and I think the Detroit native has to take a couple more for LIU to stay in this game.
Someone that shot the three ball really well at Buffalo last season and making the move over to Syracuse was Deasia Fair. Ian, she also has 9 tonight, but she's the engine of this Syracuse offense. You see her moving so fast down the court. How important is that to have a player like Deasia Fair in your offense?
Deasia Fair leads the Orange in so many ways. She can get out in transition, catch those hit-ahead passes, almost quarterback-style throws, and then when she has the ball in the half court, she's a dynamic creator. Here we see, in transition, Rice with the beautiful bounce pass, and Fair is so good at maneuvering through the lane, finding pockets of space. She might be 5'5", but that allows her to duck under bigger defenders and find space in the paint.
Fair is on the Wooden Award watch list, is also on the ACC newcomer watch list. That's just what Deasia Fair does so well. Ever so dominant for the Cuse. Coming over from Western New York, 9 points like we mentioned, also 50% from the field.
She's averaging 16 on the season, and she's been inefficient through the last couple games. She was 7 of 17 against Binghamton on Monday. I think she keeps that efficiency up today and keeps going to the rim.
The Rochester native with 5 assists tonight for the Orange. And now let's take a look into around the ACC. A couple of teams in action in the Atlantic Coast Conference. One of them, Wake Forest, who got a big-time win over Mercer, a 25-point victory. But also with that, Clemson got crushed by top-ranked South Carolina in an in-state clash.
Well, that combination of Zia Cook and Aaliyah Boston for Dawn Staley is something else. How about Wake Forest, though, shutting down Mercer in the fourth quarter? A close game until the Demon Deacs went on a 27-9 fourth quarter run. 4 different players in double figures.
It's Duke that has itself a 40-24 advantage over Texas A&M, but it's not just what's going on around the ACC. There's a lot of stuff going on around the nation as well. A ton of ranked teams going after it. Ohio State, one of them, Villanova, another, and then Iowa later tonight at 9 o'clock. Caitlin Clark is so fun to watch, and we get to see her tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time against Kansas State.
A unanimous All-American, unlimited range on Caitlin Clark. That's what everybody loves to see. And the Big Ten around the women's basketball landscape, I think the Big Ten gets a little underrepresented, but Caitlin Clark shows out every night, and she can shoot a team out of the gym and shoot Iowa, maybe even all the way into the women's Final Four.
Clark averaged 25 points per game last season, and it was the Hawkeyes that got upset by 10th-ranked Creighton in the second round of the NCAA women's basketball tournament. But back to this matchup, Ian. Let's talk about some improvements. It's LIU that's trailing by 9 going into this third quarter here coming up in a couple of moments. What do the Sharks need to do to get back out in front?
Trey, we talked about the fouls, and I think that's a big way LIU can keep things moving. The Sharks have to attack the SU bigs. Get Asia Strong, get Kyra Wood on the bench. Both of them have 2 fouls, and this is a team that is good from the free throw line. Keep attacking the paint, keep attacking the inside, and force the Orange bigs to make decisions. On the other side, shoot some more threes too. If SU's packing that zone in, let them hook. Why not? Trey, LIU has a chance in this game still.
It's been hanging around. I mean, we mentioned it just a few moments ago, how the Sharks were up 14-13, just finding ways to get past the Orange. But if you're looking at someone for Cuse, who needs to stick out on its end to really help out Deasia Fair, who really got the workload early in this contest?
It's Tisha Hyman. Leading returning scorer, she's been nowhere today, averaging 13 points per game, shooting 42% from the field. Yes, she's done the other little things, grabbing rebounds, dishing to teammates, but she hasn't been a scoring threat just yet. That's a big key for Syracuse. The other thing, win the boards. You have the height advantage. Bigger players, more depth, going 4 deep at those forward spots. Georgia Woolley back healthy, filling in down low tonight. I think that's a big key. If Woolley can get on the glass and Strong and Wood can stay out of foul trouble, Syracuse starts to pull away in the second half.
You mentioned Georgia Woolley back into the swing of things for Syracuse after missing a couple of games with an injury. You also have Sanaya Wilson coming in as well.
She hasn't seen much time.
Yeah,
I think she needs to play a bit more.
Definitely. And Cheyenne McEvans, too. How about her making a face as well? Syracuse with a 36-27 advantage over LIU. It's time for third quarter action back inside the JMA Wireless Dome. John Eads, Carl Winter, take it away, guys.
We're fresh off the off day, but still the Commodores can't get out of the losing column, falling to the Wareham Gatemen by a score of 6-4 as Falmouth drops its third straight game. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Closing the Door, along with Logan Safarenko. I'm Trey Redfield. Logan, a big reason why the Commodores fell today was because of a 5-spot put up by the Gatemen in the bottom of the 6th. Falmouth did respond, but it wasn't enough.
That was the only part of this game where Falmouth did not have any sort of control. There was a point in this game where they had 10 straight batters retired offensively, and we saw that trend in the Brewster game on Friday. Luckily, they walked away with a victory, but tonight, not enough. We saw a big 3-run shot off of Slater, and it was actually a Florida Gator on a Florida Gator, so that's just the beauty of summer ball sometimes. But 6-4 the final. Got to give credit to the 2-out hitting. We saw this with Cross Factor and Jacob Cozart in the early stages of the game to have an RBI double to make it 2-0 at the time. And then later in the game, Jacob Cozart with 2 strikes and 2 outs delivers a 2-run single. So you can take away going into a homestand those positive aspects, but a thing you got to get rid of is the theme of having consecutive batters retired, 10, like I mentioned before.
10 consecutive batters, and that came when Grayson Hitt was on the mound. He got another no decision. We've seen 3 starts from the Alabama lefty, Logan, but he's still 0-0 on the season. Why does it seem like every time the Commodores are come up to bat, they don't get enough runs per hit?
That's just sometimes, like I said, that's just how summer ball is. I mean, I like to reflect on Jerron Watts-Brown, who has filthy stuff. He's 0-3 on the summer. Sometimes there's a lot of different factors that just come in when a starting pitcher's there. Grayson Hitt, give credit. He had a lot of strikeouts tonight, 5. He was able to go 5 full innings for the first time this season, so he was in line for a victory, but like we talked about, that's 5 spot. That's a little bit of trouble. There is a positive, though. We did get a baseball after being on this perch. We finally got a baseball. No one was hurt in the making of it, but it's always a unique experience when they come down to Wareham. They're thankful for that homestand coming up, Dub.
You said it. Another positive is that homestand. Hyannis tomorrow, Bourne after that, and then on Friday is Brewster. How important is this homestand, Logan, knowing the doors are cold right now?
Well, flush this Wareham game and take notes of the previous Wareham game where it was at Gov Fuller Field and they came from behind. And they showed us they have the grit and the concentration to battle back in counts and deliver clutch hits. Tonight, unfortunately, they couldn't get with it, but we saw this on Saturday at Gov Fuller Field. They came back and won that game, ironically, with a final score of 6-4. So you got Hyannis Harbor Hawks tomorrow. I talked about it on the broadcast, how we get to see Matulia's long hair, and we get to see Riku Nishida's nice 2-strike approach and kick. So it should be a fun time back at the Gov. Out of the remaining 6 games, 2 of them on the road, 4 of them at home.
The Commodores will take a homestand any day of the week. It seems like we haven't had one in forever. But you know what? We have it tomorrow, and it starts tomorrow as well. The Commodores taking on the Harbor Hawks. First pitch is set for 6 o'clock at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. Be sure to tune in at youtube.com/Falmouth Commodores for all the broadcasts and updates throughout that one. This is Trey Redfield and Logan